Hello fellow travelers, I'm too lazy to be awesome and this time we'll learn more about Ruin Serpent. Just like any other Ruin enemy, Serpent has increased physical resistance. In the beginning of a fight, it creates 4 dark mud puddles around the arena. Boss drains energy from them while charging specific attacks and you can clear them to interrupt those, but we'll get back to this later. In order to get rid of the puddles, you have to use Luminstone Adjuvant gadget of at least level 2. No matter how many charges you have for it, upon starting a fight it won't keep more than 2 charges, but you can replenish them during the battle by breaking the crystal, which also appears near one of the puddle spots every time boss creates or drains energy from them. You can safely ignore the puddles right until boss starts using them, and if there is none left, Serpent will simply create them again. Fighting Ruin Serpent is not the most pleasant experience, and not just because it can dig underground and waste your time, but mostly because openings it gives you are very inconsistent. They're usually very short, so you can fit just a few attacks in, but sometimes you can't even safely reach the boss, and unfortunately there is no way to predict which case it will be. Aside from recreating dark mud puddles when there is none left, boss alternates between 3 different attacks. It can charge at you and dig underground, then reappear with a slam. To avoid initial dive, just stay close to the boss and move counterclockwise around it. Then either keep your distance or rely on iframes to avoid final slam. Boss can also try to fall on you and start rolling. It does so in a fixed cone, so if you dash behind the boss as soon as it starts falling, you'll get away from this attack and will be able to safely deal damage to it. But keep in mind that you take damage and get staggered if you touch the boss during this attack, so you'll have to protect yourself with a shield if you fight in melee. And lastly, boss can dive underground and create a vortex that pulls you in and deals damage. It's pretty big and boss summons it right on top of you, but if you start moving as soon as boss tail goes underground, you'll be able to get out of it in time. Alternatively, you can simply wait on high ground outside of arena until vortex disappears. Ruin Serpent has 2 powerful attacks as well. It appears between 2 mud puddles and drains energy from them while charging these attacks, gaining a lot of additional resistance in the process. After charging, it will either launch multiple bombs at you or hit the ground with laser, creating big shockwave. While it's easy to avoid the latter, bombs might cause you some problems unless you hide behind something or protect yourself with a shield. But in both cases, it's much better to just interrupt the charging process. You can do it by clearing out mud puddles that boss drains energy from using Luminstone gadget. By doing so, you interrupt the charging and stun the boss for 10 seconds, creating a safe window to deal damage to it. However, clearing out mud is not the only way to do it. Boss has 4 weak points that become exposed while it's charging heavy attacks. Hitting each of them with any attack will also stun the boss. Clearing a puddle effectively acts like breaking 2 of the weak points, so it's also possible to combine these 2 options. During a fight, Ruin Serpent will constantly use 2 of the common attacks picked at random, then starts charging one of the stronger attacks, alternating between them every time, always starting with a bomb. If there is no mud puddles left at any point during the fight, boss will additionally resummon them first. Ruin Serpent is not a difficult boss, but its inconsistent short openings make any rotation unreliable. With long setups, you will waste too much time to even benefit from them, and in addition to that, you probably won't be able to continuously use your skills of cooldown on the boss, so you might experience energy problems and won't be able to recharge your bursts in time. Instead, it's easier to just forget about rotations and fight Ruin Serpent with characters who rely on consistent short damage windows, and support them with long-lasting buffs and abilities that you can easily maintain. Make sure to reapply those during downtime, and if you have some kind of setup, it's better to start it before boss shows up as well to save more time for dealing damage. If you need some kind of setup for your team to work, for example if you use Hyperbloom team, consider forfeiting some openings for the sake of getting your skills and bursts ready to perform the full combo later and deal proper damage. Just keep track of boss cycle to know when you'll have the next good opening. And again, set as much as you can up in advance to maximize your damage. The best window to attack the boss opens when it uses rolling attack. Ideally you want to prepare for it in advance during boss previous move, but if you don't want to risk and pray for good random, you can always wait for the guaranteed opening during powerful attacks. When boss starts charging process, you can just break its course using abilities with multiple hits and big hitboxes. My personal favorite option is combo of Xiangling and Kuching, but feel free to use any combination of these characters. It is possible to break all of the cores with just a single character from this list, but it's easier and more reliable if you combine at least 2 of those. Although in the end it feels like random most of the time, so clearing out mud is still the best way to stun the serpent. Boss always drains energy only from puddles on one side. If you happen to clear one of them earlier, next time it will connect to just a single puddle. Clearing that puddle while boss is charging up will stun the boss right away, but as I mentioned before, clearing one puddle counts as breaking only 2 of its cores, so in this case stun duration will also be halved. Since stunning the boss creates a good window to safely deal damage to it, it's usually better to clear out puddles with no pair in advance to get a longer stun. Lastly, if you can't quickly kill the boss and you rely on clearing out mud to stun it, make sure you have a good way to break the crystal to recharge your gadget. Just bring any claymore wielding character or someone else who can destroy rocks with ease. There is just one hidden achievement related to Ruin Serpent that you can earn. In order to get it, you have to upgrade your gadget to level 8 to get maximum range on its active ability and use it between 2 puddles on the south that are close enough to each other for it to work. You can do it at any point during the fight with no need to interrupt boss attacks to get the achievement. Anyway, that's all for now, fellow travelers. Subscribe for more tips and have a great rest of your day. See ya!